question. Is there chlorine in the chicken you eat?
Most chickens are bathed in small amounts of it during processing to kill pathogens. Well, now some people are turning to an alternative method. CBS 2's Elise Finch has this story.
When it comes to chicken, Michelle Guidi prefers hormone-free, antibiotic-free, organically raised birds.
I'm feeding my children and my husband. This is my family, so I want to feed them the healthiest options out there.
But did she check chlorine-free?
No, I didn't.
Most U.S. poultry plants plunge freshly slaughtered birds into chilling baths.
You need to get that temperature down right away.
These baths often contain antimicrobial chemicals that can include chlorine.
Heavily diluted in water in order to kill pathogens that might be present, like salmonella.
A tiny amount gets absorbed into the meat.
Yes, I use bleach to clean my whites. My children swim in chlorine. But ingesting it and eating it, I feel a little bit apprehensive.
U.S. government regulators say this use of chlorine is safe and effective in poultry processing, explaining that in studies, once the chlorine hits the bird, it breaks down into safe byproducts. But most European officials disagree. This French political ad shows American chickens bathing in swimming pool water. The fear that chlorine causes cancer.
They operate on what's called the precautionary principle. Since there is controversy about using chlorine and other chemicals in poultry processing, they have decided to keep our poultry out
of countries in the European Union for nearly 2 decades, costing U.S. poultry farmers hundreds of millions of dollars each year.
Unfortunately, this is a matter that political science has trumped sound science.
Now people are gravitating toward a different approach, the one used in Europe and at a few American plants, where freshly slaughtered birds are blasted with very cold air for several hours to lower the body temperature and kill harmful pathogens.
I would be willing to pay more money for it.
This air-chilled chicken costs about $2 more per pound, but fans of the approach say it's worth it. Elise Finch, CBS 2 News.
Well, the USDA insists that antimicrobial agents like chlorine used by the poultry industry have been deemed safe and suitable by the Food and Drug Administration.
Of course they do. Woo! Folks, we are back here on WLTH 1370 AM. This is straight out of the cannon here on WLTH 1370 AM. It is 6:47 in the PM here on May the 30th, 2025. The future here is here. The future is now. Yes, it is. Well, folks, it looks like Maha Summer is in full effect, you know, and I may not be a fan of Donald Trump or his administration or anyone who loves him, but the one bright spot to me has been the appointment of RFK as the head of HHS, which is the Health and Human Services. He's been just one of the few people screaming in the wind about just how toxic our food is. And I know the media has, you know, vilified him because, you know, certain things, and some of it is justified, but you can't, under any other circumstance, deny that he is correct about what they have been feeding us for generations is toxic. There is a reason that Americans have the highest rates of chronic disease of any country. Like, we are sicker than countries that are poorer than us. Like, there are countries that are legitimately poor where the people are healthier than Americans. And, you know, so his appointment to HHS has paid dividends just this week. Just this week. Skittles. You guys know Skittles, which we all been eating since we were like 7 years old. They just vowed to remove titanium dioxide from all of their products here in the U.S. And I don't think I'm alone when I ask, why the hell did Skittles have titanium dioxide in it in the first place? Why? Why do Skittles need titanium dioxide? Who eats Skittles and is like, you know what this could use? A little bit more poison. Let me put some titanium dioxide on this so it can shine a little bit more. And that's mostly what most of it is. Most of it is not even about the nutritional quality of what you are eating. It is solely about the packaging. It is solely about making the food look different. It really is a dirty game, folks. It's a dirty game. But I want to thank our friends over at Matrix Mysteries on Twitter. They actually put together a list, and I was reading this, and it made me sick to my stomach because I eat all this crap all the time, which you can probably tell if you're watching the stream on Facebook or YouTube. I eat all this crap all the time, and I think a lot of you do too. And so it's important that we know just how our food is looked at in the rest of the world. For instance, bread. Our bread in this country is not real bread. It really isn't. It's not real bread, according to the standards of Europeans. Now, why would you ask? Because it is made with azotic carbonamide. Azotic carbonamide. Now, this chemical, azotic carbonamide, is used in yoga mats. Yes, it is used in mats. This chemical is linked to asthma, hormonal disruption, and of course the big C, cancer. And so that's why a lot of people from this country go over to France or go over to England or go over to Italy. They eat the bread in those countries, and it's all great. It's great. It's 100% great. But you eat it here in the United States. You eat the bread here, and a lot of people feel off after eating the bread here. Ask a lot of your foreign friends, your friends from Europe or from South America or whatever, about the bread here in this country. They say that it bloats them. They are bloated after eating the bread in this country. And that they get brain fog. So if they get that after eating our bread one time, what do you think it's doing to us who are eating it sometimes 2 and 3 times a day? I might eat toast for breakfast. I eat a sandwich for dinner or for lunch. At least. And I might eat a sandwich for dinner as well. So, like, how do you think that's affecting us, especially young people with developing bodies? It is banned in 30 plus countries. Azotic carbonamide. Banned in 30 countries. We talked about this some weeks ago. Fluoride and chlorine in our water. The U.S. is the only first world country that adds fluoride to its drinking water to prevent cavities. But it's banned in 10 countries, and much of the first world don't even use it. Even if they haven't banned it, they certainly don't add it to their water. Now, again, this isn't just from our country. This is in other countries. They've linked fluoride to thyroid problems, lower IQ in children, and developmental toxicity. It's funny, we always talk about not wanting to drink the water in other countries, but people from other countries are basically saying, don't drink the water here in the U.S. Thirdly, milk. Like, you would think milk, that just comes from out of a cow. Oh, no. No. American cows are full of synthetic hormones that are designed to boost production. And so because of that, because of that, our cows are regularly full of disease, full of all kinds of illness. A lot of times the milk that we are drinking is actually pus from their udders. Now again, our milk is banned in 25 countries. 25 countries ban American milk because our milk is linked to cancer, hormone disruption, and antibiotic resistance because they pump the cows full of antibiotics and we become resistant to them. So that's what your kids are drinking in school every day. You just heard the news story from Channel 2 about chicken. Our chicken is washed in chlorine. Other countries just clean up the conditions that they raise chickens in. Oh no, not America. Not America. We don't just make cleaner conditions. We wash the chickens in chlorine after raising them in filthy conditions. That doesn't prevent contamination, folks. It just covers it up. And so, for that reason, they are literally bleaching our chicken to cover up the contamination from the horrific conditions that we are raising and the horrific factory farms that we are raising chickens in. And so, American chicken is banned in 20 different countries. 20 different countries. And so, look, I'm not a socialist. I consider myself a left-wing populist. But it is important to understand that this is the expression of what capitalism is. People always say, well, capitalism is just about competing. No, capitalism is about really using whatever you have to make as much profit as you can. And if you can make more profit by selling contaminated food to people than you can by having clean conditions for the food that you're raising, then you are the winner. If you can give the people pee instead of lemonade and make money, then you won. Especially when they ain't got nowhere else to go. So, again, that doesn't mean that I think that everything should be socialist. But I definitely think that we need to put a check on these people who run these companies. We've seen what unfettered corporate capitalism does. And this is it. Our chicken is banned in 20 different countries. 20 countries, including the United Kingdom, Germany, and Spain. And so, it's funny, a few months ago, you saw Donald Trump throwing a crap fit, throwing those tariffs on people because why don't they want to eat American meat? This is why. This is why even poor countries don't want to take our meat. Countries where people are hungry, they don't want to take our meat. You would think that apples, right? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's what you would think, right? You would think that. What if I told you that our apples are coated in a substance called DPA or diphenhydramine? That is solely there not because it improves the quality of the apple, but solely because it prevents browning during long-term storage, so the apples don't look brown. People are less likely to buy apples that look brown. Now, the problem with diphenhydramine is that it breaks down into cancer-linked compounds after storage, during storage. So these chemicals start to break down on the apple, and you're eating these cancer-causing compounds thinking that you're doing something healthy by eating a damn apple. Our apples are banned in 20 different countries. 20. Now, we talked about this not too long ago about the cereal that we eat in this country. Our cereals are preserved with chemicals that are banned all over the world. All over the world, including BHT and BHA. These preservatives are linked to cancer and the disruption of our hormones. But they're still found in cereals and snacks all over the country. Think about that. You're feeding your kid milk and cereal every day before school, but if you're not careful, you might be serving them death, or at least sickness, chronic illness, chronic disease. We just talked about Skittles earlier. Well, there's a lot of petroleum-based chemicals in our Skittles. Red, number 40. Yellow, number 5. And 6. These chemicals are linked to hyperactivity, allergic reactions, and even cancer. Now, again, these chemicals have been banned in most of the world. They in other countries, they use natural dyes that aren't petroleum based. Switzerland, particularly, even though it is famous for being the candy capital of the world, also bans our Skittles. They won't even take them. They don't want our Skittles. Our pork. You didn't think pork was going to get out of this? No. Our pork is cheap because our pigs are pumped full of ractopamine. This is a growth drug that is fed to pigs that helps them build muscle very quickly. Now, why is ractopamine so dangerous? It is linked to heart issues, hyperactivity, and animal aggression. And that's what we're feeding ourselves on a regular basis. Now, this is one you all have to know is already unhealthy, which is Mountain Dew. I don't think anybody who drinks a soda thinks that they are eating something, drinking something that is healthy for them. But it is important to understand that Mountain Dew is full of brominated vegetable oil. BVO is a flame retardant. It's literally a flame retardant. Now, why do they put flame retardant in Mountain Dew? The purpose of BVO is to stabilize the citrus flavor of Mountain Dew. Like, they want to stabilize the flavor, I guess, for, again, long-term storage. A lot of this is about long-term storage, being able to store these things for long-term and, ship them long, distances without spoiling, or at least being inedible or, undrinkable for the population. Now, brominated vegetable oil is linked to memory loss, hormone disruption, and even fertility issues. So if you want to have kids, you might want to avoid the Mountain Dew. Thank God I've done a good job of avoiding Mountain Dew my entire life, because that stuff is terrible. It always has been. Thank God I never developed a taste for that. We just talked about pork a few seconds ago. But what about beef? Our prepackaged ground beef is also treated with ammonia. That's right. Our ground beef is made of leftover scraps that are treated with ammonia gas to kill bacteria. And pink slime. That is what McDonald's uses in their hamburgers. Pink slime. It is banned in many countries of the world. This is why countries don't take our beef. Countries in Latin America, countries in Europe, they won't take our beef. Countries in Asia. The Japanese don't want our beef. Donald Trump is yelling at them, take our beef. They don't want our beef. Take our cars. They don't want our cars. We have let the elites in this country create a world, a country, a society that the entire world looks at as toxic and unhealthy and wants nothing to do with. This is what it looks like in a world where a few people have all the wealth, control the media, control the business climate, so that they can get richer while everybody else is getting poorer, while they drive down wages, when they gut all of the departments that are designed to keep them in check and inspect what they're doing. Like you saw what Elon Musk did as soon as he got some power. As soon as Elon Musk got some power, he started gutting all those agencies that kept him in check. This is what they do. This is who they are. And they own both parties. This isn't a Republican thing. This isn't a Democrat thing. This is why I'm not a Republican. This is why I'm not a Democrat. These people have no morals. They have no values. All they want is to make more money. And off of you, exploiting you, poisoning you, killing you. And so our beef is banned in much of the world because it's poison. And finally, cheese. We already talked about beef and milk. So of course, if beef and milk is full of poison crap, of course the cheese is going to be full of it. Our American cheese are full of food dyes and emulsifiers. They are engineered to melt and glow and be marketed. This is why American food looks different than food from England, France, Germany, Italy, etc., Latin America. Our cheese is colored with petroleum-based dyes like yellow number 6. It is also full of emulsifiers that are linked to kidney issues and chronic inflammation. Our cheese is banned in places like Norway, Austria, and Australia. This is why. So when you see Donald Trump crying about, oh my God, I can't believe they don't want our beautiful beef. You saw him in, I think it was Scott Bessent, on TV. Oh, why don't they want our beautiful meat? Our meat is great. We love our... The rest of the world knows. The question is, when are you going to wake up? When are we going to wake up and start demanding better from these companies? Good God, after reading this, I'm going to have to throw everything in my refrigerator out. Let me get this caller. Hello, caller. What's up?
How you doing, Mr. Scott? I'm listening at you. Been listening at you.
It's all good, brother.
Hey, so in other words, every doggone thing we eat or drink is something being messed with it. Because you don't know who's processing it.
You don't.
Who's supposed to be doing what to it, who shouldn't do nothing to it. And it's been like that way for years, and it's not going to change.
Well, it'll change if we demand from our politicians and the people that we vote for. If we tell them, we will not vote for you if you don't put some regulations in order, then I bet you it'll change then.
Okay, but then, like you say, if we don't vote for them, then things will change. What's to say that the politicians you got in offices don't go along with that and let them do it, get away with it anyway? Because it's all about that, like that OJ say, that almighty dollar. Money talk.
Yes, it does.
If you're sitting, like I say, if you're sitting in a room and here you are, the president of the United States, and you want to come up with some dirty deal, you're going to feed the whole United States. And you got 10 people sitting there. You give them 20, let's say $20 billion a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to tell on what the man finna do?
Nope.
You doggone right you're not going to tell on him. Hey, like I say, you find a fool, you bump his head.
Yep.
We all been getting screwed for years, and it's going to continue because you never know who's doing what to what. So everything, like you say, in your refrigerator, you throw away. What you going to eat?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's definitely
Milk.
a good question.
I'm listening at you. Milk, chickens,
Cheese.
Skittles, beef,
Yep.
cheese, everything. I guess you go in a restaurant now. You have to go in there with a doctor or something and check everything you're supposed to eat in there, right?
Yeah. Luckily, we do have all farms are factory farms. We do have places like not Trader Joe's, but we have Whole Foods and other places that do sell stuff without hormones and sell stuff without a lot of these chemicals in it. You can buy organic stuff without these things in it. So it is available. It's just going to cost you a little bit more.
Okay, but I'm saying who's responsible for going checking on these places to see are they supposed to be doing right?
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Because as long as you can do what you're doing and you study getting away with it, making that money, they don't care. They don't care. So, like you said, all these other countries won't buy from this or do that from that. Well, they had to find out what was going on here. How come the whole world hasn't been noticed about this? Nobody said nothing about it.
I heard that.
All right, but I'm enjoying your show, my man.
Thank you for calling. Yeah. I agree, but I where I don't agree, I'm optimistic that we can stand up. Again, like, these things didn't get banned in these other countries because they just are better than us. They're not better than us. You know, as the saying goes, I'm not better than anybody else and nobody's better than me. The reason I bring up other countries so much and what they do is because, again, they have citizens just like we do. The only difference is they won't take that from their politicians. They won't take the corruption from their politicians. They won't take the lack of regard from the elites in their society. And we do. And we've been groomed and raised to take it. We don't have to take this. We don't have to take this. Okay? When you see people who are running for office, who are running on these types of issues, listen to them, even if they are not supported by the mainstream corporate liberal Democratic Party or the corporate mainstream conservative Republican Party. Listen to them. You know, RFK Jr. ran against the establishment of the Democratic Party at first as a Democrat. Then when they basically kicked him out the party, he said, okay, well, I'll go over to Trump and, you know, he may not be everything I want him to be, but at least I can get in a position where I can start demanding that they start taking this stuff out of the food. And that's why I say Maha might be the one thing, or at least some parts of Maha are definitely a good thing. Skittles saw RFK Jr. breathing down their neck and said, no, we don't want no part of this. We do not want no part of this. We will take the titanium dioxide out of Skittles. We will do that. All these cereal companies saw him coming and said, look, okay, we'll take the dyes out. That's all it took. All it took is for somebody to give a doggone. That's all it took. Is somebody to say, look, hey, why don't you take the dye out of this stuff? And again, our government is the most powerful government in the history of the world. What are they going to do? Say no? Our government has drones. They don't want them problems, G. And so, yes, a lot of this stuff is actually starting to get acknowledged and starting to get better because we actually have somebody in a position of power who's saying, look, you got to take these dyes and all this crap out of this food. And if we can have one person who says that, we can have 10 people who say it, and we can have 100 people who say it, until finally everybody in office or who has a position of power refuses to let this be our reality. All right, folks. When we get back, it is time for some happy happies. We'll be right back after these here on Straight Out of the Cannon with me, Scott Cannon. Oh, before I go to this break, let me remind you guys again, tomorrow at 10 a.m., we will be at Brunswick for a nature hike. This is just sort of a thank you and a way for us as a organization and our partners to encourage you all to, be healthier. Because it's not just about eating, it's about moving as well. So join us at Brunswick Park for a guided walk at 10 a.m. from about 10 to noon tomorrow at Brunswick Park. The event is free, completely free. Completely free. Bring the kids. It's for all ages. It's just about, again, encouraging healthier lifestyles. Thanks again to our partners at the Field Museum, the Nature Conservancy, the City of Gary, and the Shirley Hines Land Trust, who have always done right by us at the United Urban Network. We'll be right back with the Happy Happies here on WLTH 1370 AM. Straight Out of the Cannon.